Hello, today is the 27th of September 2025. So as you can probably see, I'm coming on this video with more energy and feeling better and more clarity and so on. I don't know if that's really visible, but I can definitely feel it. I didn't expect to make a video so soon again, but I had a very helpful chat yesterday with my mom, which helped me to really see the blip that I was in, the downfall I had in a different way, and really see what got me into it and then how to get back out of it. Even though I was on the right track, because as soon as you don't give up and keep going, you're already on the right track to get better. So I knew I was on the right track and I was looking at things in a good way, but it was just I myself had a hard time believing certain things and thinking they could help, or is this really helpful? Is this the right thing? What I'm doing, is that the right thing? Because sometimes when you have a downfall and you just don't see things clearly anymore, you don't really trust yourself that much anymore, and it's often very helpful to get someone else's perspective and have a look at the way they're seeing the situation and how they're seeing me. That's why yesterday the call was very helpful, because I could just see the whole situation in a different way, which was hard for me to get behind because I was in the situation. So my mom really helped me with that. I hope that makes sense. So I'm gonna begin by saying, basically we came on the call because I had asked her 2 days ago if we can chat at some point during the weekend and stuff. So yesterday we had a chat, and I basically just started off saying that for me it's always the same, really. It's kind of the same pattern that make me fall into blips, and it's always focused on something else, but it's always the same pattern. So it's always me beating myself up, thinking I'm not good enough, thinking I should be better and I should know things better, and then keeping myself in the blip by continuing to beat myself up and being unkind to myself, and then believing I can't do anything to help myself, I'm not powerful, I don't have the skills to get myself out of this. So it's always kind of that pattern. And in the Thrive program, it also says very clearly that your self-esteem is linked to your sense of power and control over your experiences. So if you feel shit about yourself, which I had been feeling for the past week, then you also feel less powerful over your experiences. And so many things just suddenly were so clear to me when I was on the call with mom and explaining her these things. So I could then clearly see that I was feeling shit about myself for the past week, and that's also the reason why I then didn't feel powerful to change my situation and to make myself feel better or to enjoy everything I have here. And she then immediately went on to giving me some suggestions, how to basically treat yourself better. It's you can set yourself some small challenges and some goals that you want to achieve. But if you feel you can't achieve them, then that's okay as well. Don't beat yourself up for it. But next time, try small steps to get there, basically. Try doing these things to get to that. But if you feel you're not ready yet, or you feel you haven't fully reached it yet, then don't beat yourself up for that. Then be kind to yourself, be understanding with yourself. And then if you do reach it, or you do take some steps towards it, then be really proud of that. And not just be proud of it, but keep processing it throughout the day, again and again, and throughout the next few days. No matter how small the steps were that you took, the effort that you put in, what you tried to do to help yourself and to reach your goal of getting out of this blip or enjoying your holidays and whatever. Whatever steps you take, really process them. Notice, I did that. I put the effort in. I have the skills. I am able to do it. Notice, like, I did that. I took this step and I managed it, and I can get there step by step and so on. Like, really then process it and keep being proud of yourself. And all of that made so much sense to me, and I saw, like, of course, if I lived that way, then I would feel much less bad about me and about my life. You know, if I wouldn't beat myself up, and if I would really process my positives and process my achievements, I would feel so much better about myself. And I've really been now practicing the past few days to process my positives, because I really noticed how big they are, like how important it is to process them internally. Like, notice, I did that, not like externally, like this happened because of someone else or because of something else. Like, no, I achieved them because of my skills and because of the thoughts I had and because of, you know, what I did. Because that really increases your self-esteem. It increases your sense of power and control that you have over your experiences. It shows you the clear path that, like, if I take these steps, I'm gonna feel better. If you like process the positives, it's like, yeah, because I did this, I felt this way, or I achieved this, and so on. So it really shows you a clear pathway to a goal, or it shows you where you are at or how to get somewhere. So it's so important. So I've really been trying to, during my day even, not to let the positives be processed at the end of the day only. I'm like, during the day already being like, oh look, right now I'm sitting in the sun and listening to some music because I want to feel better, and I'm doing this for myself and I enjoy this, and it's so beautiful in the sun, and I'm very grateful to be here. So I'm like really processing that as well during the day already. Yeah, and then when she said that, I really did notice that's like so true. And at the same time, I kind of already knew that because I was already getting there. I was already doing that more, and I had learned that already and so on. And now I was like, I need to put this back into, you know, practice again and really do that as well. Yeah, I also went on to explaining how I like really want to enjoy this time here, and how I know that what we're doing here is really nice, and I know how special it is and so on. But I don't really know exactly what I said about that. It was kind of linked to something else as well. But I do remember what she said then, because the one sentence that I said, like, I want to enjoy this, she pointed out that there's so much pressure in that one sentence alone. Even though you're like, you know, striving towards something like really, you know, amazing, really beautiful. But if I have that expectation of like, I really want to enjoy this, especially then when I feel down in some sort of way, or I feel kind of sad or kind of disappointed in myself, then it's immediately such a big thing, because I'm then noticing, oh, I failed at enjoying this holiday. Oh, I'm not actually enjoying it, which was my main goal. So then like the small negative feelings feel so much bigger immediately, because you're noticing, oh, I'm not reaching that expectation. I'm not living up to that expectation that I had, that I want to enjoy this holiday. So when she pointed that out, like how much pressure this one sentence alone actually carries, it just made so much sense to me, because my last two videos probably explain it as well. Like, I was scared to like ruin my day, because I had this expectation, I had this wish that I would like really enjoy this, that I really would soak up the beautiful moments. And then on the days where I noticed especially like this is really special, like going to the beach or going to a fun park, I then was like kind of scared on those days, and I felt disappointed in myself when I didn't live up to that expectation of enjoying this, of like really feeling it so much. But when I had some sort of slight sadness in me or some sort of negative feelings, I immediately felt like I failed, like it was such a big thing then. I felt like my day was ruined and so on. So I really noticed, like from the very beginning of these holidays, I had that expectation to enjoy it because I knew how special this time is with my sister Alana here alone for like 6 weeks or something all together here in the sun, and we have our house here and we're going out doing things, like, you know. So then instead of like having that expectation of myself and trying to live up to that, what she pointed out as well, it was kind of like build a cobweb using everything that you have that day. So if there's like some sort of sadness in you or some sort of worries or anything like negative that you feel, then use that to like, you know, build this cobweb for yourself in this day and to interpret everything that you are given today to make it the best day that you can today without any like pressure, without it needing to be a good day. It's just like I can live every day the way I do, and when I feel sad and when I don't have the best moment, that's okay as well. And it doesn't mean that the day is ruined. It doesn't mean that the day is not going to be memorable and that this isn't a special time. It still is. So I don't know if that really made sense, but when we kind of talked about it, how much pressure that one sentence has of like, I want to enjoy this, it really made sense that I'm just gonna not have that expectation and just live every day the way I do, and to make the most out of it, you know, the way I can, to make the most out of it, and to really interpret everything that I'm feeling and thinking and experiencing into my day and in the most special way. Creating something beautiful out of everything that I have. That's kind of what I meant with the cobweb. Yeah, it was kind of so much, it felt so much lighter when we talked about it. And I could like see myself waking up in the mornings without being disappointed, without feeling that pressure of like, I need to make this day beautiful. No, it was just like, whatever I go through my day, that's okay. And I'm going to make the most out of that, even if that means only 10%. That's the most that I made out of it. I'm then just dealing with what is right now, and that's okay. That I don't need to be 100%. I don't need to enjoy this. That's something I noticed as well. Like, thriving means coping. It doesn't mean being 100%. It means coping with those negative feelings you have as well, with the disappointment, with the, you know, not fully enjoying everything, just coping with that. It doesn't mean being 100%, being happy all the time, being the best version of yourself all the time, being grateful all the time. Like, that's not what thriving is. I also went on to explaining how, you know, here I've been feeling like I need to cry for the past week, and I just didn't get to it. Because in Ireland, when I'm there, I have like a lot of more safety nets, and whenever I feel really down and know like, okay, I just need some time to myself, or I want to feel better, I have certain things I do. So I watch a movie and then notice that I'm doing this for myself to feel better, or I cuddle with Akela or go for a walk with her, and noticing and knowing like I'm doing this for myself to feel better. And afterwards I have so much more energy, and I'm really like there for myself, and I'm healing myself by doing things that I love and noticing I'm doing this for myself because I want to feel better. And here in Spain, I just don't get to it. And that's kind of every time I'm here in Spain, it's like something's always keeping me from just being here, like just being with my feelings and really just crying about it, and like really watching a movie to help myself, or doing something that just really soothes me. Something's always just keeping me from it. It's myself. For some reason, I always kind of keep myself from doing that because I feel this certain like pressure to take care of everything, or to always be ready, be prepared, to be on the ball, and this certain expectation always to like enjoy it and to not be feeling bad, or to be able to manage all of my thinking. And there's these unrealistic expectations. And then also with my sister Alana, like we've just been kind of at each other the past 1 or 2 weeks. I mean, really from the beginning, but like then it got more extreme the past 1 or 2 weeks. Usually, we're a really good team, and when I feel down, I often go to her because I know being with her makes me feel better. She always makes me laugh, and I feel like I can talk to her about, whatever is really going on with me. But now it's just not really like that. It's more like we're trying to get out of each other's way, because she's just at that stage, and as a teenager, where you just kind of disagree with everything the other person says, and you always have your own opinion that you need to share and you need to say and you need to be right. And then I always had that as well, where I always wanted to let the other person know what my opinion is, and I know where that's coming from, and I'm working on it. So both of us have a problem with just letting it go. We kind of want to share our opinion always, and then that kind of can lead to some arguments and so on. So that just didn't help me. So I didn't really feel like I was fully safe to just cry and just be with my feelings and just let them out. It always felt like I needed to be ready, I needed to be on guard, and I think I pushed my feelings away kind of as well, because I wanted to enjoy this. I wanted to feel good. I wanted to be able to manage my thinking. So when I noticed I wasn't, then I was pushing that away. I was kind of like, no, I'm just gonna enjoy this. But that's not how it works. I was not feeling great the past week, and I didn't really go to myself and let myself feel it. I didn't really give myself a moment to just cry. I've been noticing like the past week, I've been feeling the whole time like I just need to cry, I just want to cry, but I never got to it. I never let myself get to it. So while I was explaining all of this to Mom, I was like sobbing, and oh my God, did that feel good. It felt so good to cry and let it all out. And in that moment already, I felt so much more clarity in my mind, because I could really see what I was doing and how unfriendly I was treating myself and so on. And Mom then said to me that there have been actually a lot of moments that I took for myself to do what I enjoy, but I never processed it as like a moment where I'm taking care of myself and I'm doing this for myself to feel better. I was just always doing things because I wanted to enjoy it, which is so true. So like the painting I've been doing as well every day almost for hours was like I did that because I wanted to enjoy it, and I did, but it was like this expectation I had, like I want to enjoy this because this is something I can enjoy in my holidays, instead of being like I'm doing this for myself because I love painting and I'm doing good for myself, and I'm doing this for myself because I want to feel better and I want to be, I'm taking care of myself. So I just didn't process it that way. With what I explained about my sister Alana and me, Mom's suggestion was just like to honestly and openly go to Alana and tell her, look, I'm feeling this and this way at the moment. I'd really like you to just kind of be there for me, or let's just kind of make it cozy, and it's okay if we argue. Like, it's okay sometimes, to argue, and we're gonna find our way back to each other and so on. But like, Mom was just suggesting maybe just go to her and really say, like, I used to always go to you because I wanted to feel better, and it always made me feel better to be around you. Just to honestly tell her how I've been feeling instead of just trying to avoid her all the time. I really strongly noticed the moment it started of me being unfriendly to myself a week ago, and kind of carried on throughout this whole week, because I had this expectation of myself to be a certain way, and when I didn't reach that, I was disappointed in myself, and I was talking badly to myself and about myself the whole time, and I didn't really fully notice that the past week. So I've just been subconsciously and unconsciously doing that. But then yesterday on the call with Mom, I really noticed like how I've been speaking to myself, and that I can just change my language. I can stop speaking that way to myself, and I can really practice doing that. And that's what I then really started doing again, and that's why I feel better now, because whenever I then was starting to beat myself up for something, I stopped that voice in my head, and I was like, no, look, it's very understandable why I feel scared about this. It used to be one of my big fears, and obviously I don't want to feel that way again, so it makes sense, and it's all okay. It's different now, that's the past, it's just a memory. What I was afraid of was not actually the threat. Like for emetophobes, for example, vomit is not actually the threat. Or for the phobia of spiders, like spiders aren't actually the threat. It's always your inner voice, it's your own thoughts. That's what makes you feel scared. That's what is basically the problem, the threat. And you can change that by, for example, changing the voice and your language and, the way you react to it and so on. So yesterday and today, I've really been, every time I've felt a certain way and then started to get disappointed in myself, I stopped myself right away, and I was redirecting my voice then, and being understanding with myself again, being like, it makes sense why you would be scared of that. It makes sense why, you're disappointed, because you have this and that expectation or this and that belief and so on. But I'm okay, like I'm not under threat. There's nothing bad that's happening to me. It's all just my thoughts, and thoughts aren't facts. And I only ever feel a certain way when I have a certain thought in my head. So as soon as I change the thought, or the thought is out of my head and I focus on something else, I don't feel that way anymore. Yeah, so that has really helped me. And then when I do that, when I then help myself and I'm kinder to myself again, I then praise myself, and I notice, look, I calmed down my inner voice. I am able to do that. I'm being kinder to myself. And that's been a game changer now the past 24 hours. Like, I've really been noticing how much better I've been feeling, even though I'm not feeling 100%, but I'm noticing I'm feeling better than I did the past week. And that's because of the way I'm speaking to myself. And I didn't wake up this morning disappointed in myself. I woke up this morning and I was fine, and I wasn't like focused on anything pressurizing or anything stressful or like upsetting. I just woke up, and so it's all got to do with the way you feel about yourself, because I've been feeling shit about myself for the past week, and that's why I felt like some parts of my days were shit, and I felt like I wasn't very powerful and I wasn't able to do certain things, and that's just because I felt shit about myself. And now I've been changing that. I've been changing the way I've been feeling about myself, processing my positives more, speaking kinder to myself. And after the call with mom, I noticed how I was starting to get disappointed in myself because I was like, oh great, I needed someone else's help to feel better. And I wasn't able to help myself. And it shouldn't be like that because I shouldn't rely on other people. Then I was like, okay, hold on a second. First of all, I decided to go to mom because I wanted to help myself. Because I wanted to regain some perspective and talk to someone about this because I've been stuck in my own mind for the past week. And I know that sometimes it really helps to surround yourself with people who just aren't in the same blip as you and can just shed some light on the situation. And then I also noticed then, okay, it makes sense why I'm a bit disappointed, why I'm a bit like, oh, you shouldn't be relying on other people, because I was scared that in the future I might be relying on her and then, maybe her advice didn't help me and I fell even deeper into a blip and would feel even worse then, because that's what happened in the past in my depression a lot of the time. But then I was like, look, I know it makes sense why I would be scared of that because it used to happen in the past. First of all, we're all different people now. Second of all, if she wouldn't be able to help me, then first of all, there's other people. And second of all, I can help myself. And at some point sooner or later, I will get myself out and I will regain some perspective. And third of all, I'm not actually fully relying on her to make myself feel better because I know she can't. But some things that she said really made me remember what I learned as well, or made me think and then noticed, yes, that does apply to whatever I was going through. And I was going to her not because I was expecting her to make me feel better, not at all. It was because I wanted to help myself and I just wanted to talk to someone about what was going on in my mind the whole time. And I don't need to be the only one ever to help myself, because sometimes when you're in a blip you can't. So it's really helpful to just surround yourself with people that see it a different way, or that can just make you laugh, or that it helps to speak to. So yeah, I then turned around those thoughts very quickly before they pulled me into another blip. And then what made me cry quite a bit as well was when mom said at some point during the call, you're allowed to be vulnerable. You don't have to be 100% good, and you don't have to always enjoy everything. You don't have to always be grateful. You don't have to always be this sort of person. You're allowed to be vulnerable. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to fail. You're allowed to be an asshole sometimes. You're allowed to feel the way you do. You're allowed to disagree with people. You're allowed to be a human. You're allowed to have all of that and be all these things. And, that just sheds so much light on the situation, because every time I was one of those things, when I noticed, I was just an asshole in that situation, or, I feel like I need to cry, or I feel like I failed at this, I didn't reach what I wanted to reach, I immediately, beat myself up. I immediately felt so shitty then. Instead of being like, look, I'm allowed to feel that way and it's okay. Yeah, the expectations that I had of myself, those were the things that made me feel shitty, that made me feel down. But as soon as I allowed myself to feel the way I feel and to be the way I am, it made me enjoy my day so much more and notice I'm okay the way I am. Yeah, and yesterday me and Leona went to a city here that's an hour away, and to the beach. And I kind of didn't fully feel like going. I was kind of already tired and it was later in the day and I was unsure about going and so on. So then I had a quite dramatic thought of this I'm not going to be happy, and I'm going to be like coming home really tired, and probably not going to enjoy, you know, my time there because I don't actually want to go, and so on. But then again, I looked at that voice, and then I turned around the voice, and then I noticed that like my first thought doesn't need to be my last thought. So if I think I'm going to come home really tired and the day is not going to be a great one, then that doesn't mean that's the way it's going to be. I could come home being like, this was an amazing experience. This was so nice. I really liked it. I'm very happy about that we went. I could come home thinking this was totally worth it, and I'm actually not that tired, and it's actually okay. My first thought doesn't need to be my last thought. It's not facts. And that's literally the way it was. Because when we arrived there, the town, in my opinion, it was La Villa Gioiosa. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, but the town was so beautiful. And the beach and like where we parked the car and then walked towards the beach, like that was so beautiful. And when we parked the car, we were like looking right at the ocean, and oh my god, like I was then immediately as we arrived there and I saw this and appreciated it, I was so glad that we went, because that moment alone made it worth it. Like it was worth it to go for that moment alone. And then we actually had a really good time. And I was very socially confident. Once again, I was not at all nervous to order some snacks that we ate then and pay for that, and then, change into my bathing suit. Like for a second, I remembered the struggle I used to have with being in a bathing suit. I literally couldn't. I would have worn proper clothes and then went swimming. Or if I had a bathing suit on, as soon as I came out of the water, I would have wrapped myself in a towel or changed immediately back into normal clothes. I remembered that struggle, and then I was like a small bit nervous for a second, but I immediately calmed down that voice as well. I was like, this is just a memory. It's not like that anymore. I'm okay. No one's focusing that much on me, and it's all just my thoughts, and I've been confident the whole time here in Spain in a bathing suit, and I'm totally fine again, and I can manage this, and it's all okay. And then immediately the thought was gone, and I had a lovely time and didn't feel like hiding at all or anything. And the drive back was just the absolute vibe. Like me and Alana, the vibes there, like we had a good day, like we weren't at all arguing yesterday. And I noticed as well, like sometimes when I wanted to like disagree with her or like say my opinion on something, I just decided not to. I was just like, I'm just gonna let that go, because I think that's better for now, for me as well, to like, I don't want an argument. It doesn't help me. I'm just gonna not say my opinion, but I can still have my opinion, still, disagree in my mind or whatever. It's okay. So yeah, but anyway, the drive back, it was like sunset, so it was so beautiful. And for some of the drive, the ocean was still beside us, and like the mountains with the clouds and the sunset. Oh my god, it was so beautiful. And then us in the car singing to like music. It was like Shawn Mendes, Benson Boone, and One Direction, their solo songs as well. Like it was so just the vibe. It was like everything was just so beautiful, and I was like, this day was so worth it, like going there. And it really helped as well to get out of my mind, to do something, focus on something else. And I really enjoyed driving as well. And like, I drove in a new city as well now that I was never in before, and there was more cars and it was narrower than usual, but I managed all of that as well. And it was a beautiful day, and I made it beautiful by not having an expectation, by just making the most out of every moment that came, like no matter what came with that moment, and just being like, I'm allowed to feel a certain way, and that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean I'm depressed. It doesn't mean like I'm failing. It doesn't mean these holidays are ruined. It doesn't mean anything. It just means I'm human and I'm feeling, and feelings are just reactions to thoughts that you have, and it's just a thought and it's not a fact, and it's just, it's like, yeah, it was just so beautiful. And then when we came home, we looked through some of our videos that we made that day, and we were just laughing so much, and it was just lovely. It was just so lovely. And then I really noticed, look, see, the first thought I had about this was not my last thought. It wasn't at all ruined, and I wasn't at all too tired to drive back home or something. It was fine, and we had a very nice day, and it's a city that I probably would go to again. And the only reason I could know that is because I visited it and I made it there and so on. So yeah. Oh, it's so weird, like when you're in a blip, like how little you can see. Like your vision is just so blurred, or it's like so limited. It's really crazy. But then when you get out of it a bit more, it's just like so clear to you what happened there. And it's like there's an answer to everything. There's a reason for everything. It's no mystery. As much as it might feel like it, it's no mystery, and there's a solution to every problem. So I think what I learned the most is like the way I'm treating myself equals to how I feel about myself, how I feel full stop, and how powerful I feel about my situation and about changing it. Like if I feel shit about myself, I'm obviously going to feel like, oh, you're so incapable, you're not able to do anything about it, you're, whatever, weak, vulnerable, a failure, whatever. Yeah, it dictates how you wake up in the mornings, and expectations are so limiting, so limiting. Allowing myself to feel is freedom. That helps me to reach what I want to reach, to be how I want to be without labeling it as bad. And then my language, that equals to how I feel about myself. That equals to how powerful I feel. That equals to literally everything. Like the expectations you have, how you feel, what you think, what you believe, like that, all of that is your language. So really noticing that, being aware of it, the language I'm using, and then changing it step by step, changing it to more kind language, more positive language, more, understanding language, like that you're just being understanding with yourself, because it all makes sense where things are coming from. Yeah, I think I really learned how important my language is, and that if I really change that, that I'm going to change the way I feel about myself then, and how powerful I feel. And because my language, so my thoughts have been better, I haven't been waking up disappointed. I haven't been feeling like I need to do certain things. I didn't have certain expectations anymore. It was just like freedom, so much more like free. And noticing feelings aren't bad. They're not bad. They don't control you. Yeah, and I'm noticing more and more that in my depression, my language was the key, the reason to why I felt all those feelings. Was because I thought in a certain way, in a really unhelpful way that made me depressed. So I'm noticing that allowing yourself to feel saves you from depression way more than like having expectations and trying to be perfect and trying to always be happy and trying to be this and that, because that's what made me depressed back then, when I felt like I was a failure and I wasn't able to do things and I should be able, and shouldn't be feeling this way, and I shouldn't do this and that, and telling myself like I'm incapable and this is the worst thing ever, and you know, all of that was all my language. So yeah, changing that just really saves you. So I think that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until the next time, bye.